What's up, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video describing or talking about the advantages of using a Pro controller, like one of these guys over here, versus your regular controller that comes to PlayStation or your Xbox. And this is in the context of basically having two players of equal skill, one with a Pro controller and one with a regular controller. And why do I think the guy with the Pro controller will always win? Now, if you have a regular controller like this, for example, you have your right hand that has access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons, and your left hand is left to deal with the analog stick, the D-pad, and the shoulder buttons. The same thing goes obviously for the Xbox controller. Now, if you have a Pro controller on the other hand, and let's take the Xbox Elite 2 for example, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons, but you also get 2 more buttons here where you could map the left side shoulder buttons too. Now, what that means is instead of having your left hand to deal with movement and buttons, no matter how fast you are losing some parts of a second trying to actuate the button and the directional input at the same time, versus you having one hand to deal with the buttons and the other hand dealing with the directional input. So those fractions of a second do make a lot of difference, especially in the context of competitive games like first-person shooters, fighting games, or racing games. In addition to that, with a Pro controller, for example, you could swap out your D-pad in most of them and, input a D-pad that is more, I would say, suited towards the game that you want. You can also swap out your analog sticks to higher, concave, convex, and make the game ultimately easier. Now, most of these Pro controllers also have the ability for you to have different settings per game. Like over here, you can have 1, 2, 3 settings, and all of them for your particular type of game. And the other thing that I cannot live without in Pro controllers is the ability to set the triggers. Like for example, in a fighting game or first-person shooter, I can have the trigger with immediate input or half input, or in a racing game, full. See, that's a whole lot of difference in terms of button press. Like I said, in the context of two players of equal skill, one with a Pro controller and one with a regular controller, expect the guy with the Pro controller to win every time. This is not just a gimmick, guys, and I know these controllers can be expensive. I mean, this one's about, what, 900 dirhams? This one's from Razer, obviously, so there's a Razer tax, but I love my Razer, so anyway. The Elite is not cheap as well. It's about 850, 900 dirhams. Again, yes, they are expensive, but are they worth it? I mean, some of them are more expensive than their consoles. Like this Razer Pro controller is technically as expensive as a PlayStation Pro. But are they worth it? Definitely. If you're serious about your game, then this is something you should definitely look at, especially in the context of fighting games, football, sport games, driving games, first-person shooters. The advantage they give you, like I mentioned, is something that has to be seen to be believed. Anyway, guys, just wanted to share this with you, and if you are on the fence about getting a Pro controller, I would definitely recommend you look into them, especially if you're serious about your game. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Until I see you next time, this is me tuning out.